So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 4:02 p.m. And we have a visitor. Do you have any questions, any comments that you want to make? I do not. Okay, thank you. And I need a motion for the approval of the minute. You so move?
Yes, I do.
Okay, the minutes are approved from our March meeting. And do we have our financial?
Yes.
Yeah,
Kind of way, so I have to give you the financial, next second here, and then.
I can read it as well.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, John,
Okay.
please.
Pardon me?
I can also read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, good.
So financial report for April 10th, 2024. April warrants total $39,574.52. The total payroll is $24,292.95, including Chief Carlton's salary of $6,662.92 and Assistant Chief's pay, Shields pay for $3,567.43. There is one event for the commissioners and the board secretary. The total payout for volunteers, warrants included, is $20,443. The March financial statements have been handed out for review. I am requesting the board's approval of warrants and payroll for April as presented. Respectfully, Patty Markell.
Go ahead.
I did. Thanks.
Okay, a motion has been made to accept the warrants of $30,574.52 and a payroll of $24,292.95. And I assume we are passing that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next item. Patty?
Patty's not available for
Patty.
today.
Okay. So,
I
I
can give
don't
you
get,
the,
there's nothing else as far as the budget update, but you'll do that. Is that right, Chief?
that is correct.
Okay, so correspondence, any?
We don't have any correspondence to speak of. There was
Okay,
some thank you letters, but that was it.
okay. And your report, please.
Chief's report.
Okay. So Chief's Officer report for the month of April 2024 for March of 2024.
Hear better. Yeah. I don't know what speakers.
Do you want me to continue?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So we have a new intake in progress for recruits. We're hiring. Right now we have 10 recruits coming through the process, and we'll see what happens with those over the next coming weeks. We'll be running an internal academy as well through the next 4 weeks. So hiring process is still in play. I'll be doing final interviews, and hopefully we'll have new staff to fill holes that we currently have online sometime mid-May or June. I have nothing to report on the apparatus. We lost a few members, so we're down to 44 members, 29 Canadian, 12 Point Roberts, and 3 county. Amongst those 44 members are 3 paramedics, 9 EMTs, which are 5 are advanced EMTs. We have 1 registered nurse, 1 ambassador, and 33 firefighters. Volunteer hours for the month of March were 2,867. Volunteer payroll was 21,495. Combined chief hours, I was again off for the majority of March. I went back to duty on the 26th because of my prostate cancer recovery and surgery. I worked 22.5 hours, and I took 137.5 hours of vacation, equaling 160 hours. Assistant Chief Shields worked 132.5. So we have a combined chief hours of 155 hours for the month of March. which included My 22 and Chief Shields. Total calls for the month of March, 34 calls. We had 10 EMS calls. We had 1 transport by our agency to St. Joseph's Hospital. We had 3 Airlift Northwest transports, and we had 6 people that did not get transported. We had 11 home care visits. We had 8 public service calls, and we had 5 classifications for fire. We had 2 permitted outdoor burns, 1 illegal outdoor burn. We had a smoke investigation, a false alarm, and that's it on fire. So that completes my chief's report for April for the month of March.
Any questions?
No question.
Thank you very much. The next item is, yeah. Do we have any unfinished business that I'm not aware
I don't think so.
of? Anything that you have, chief?
No, I do have new business, and I'll do the budget remaining as well.
Oh, okay,
And
why don't you
review.
go ahead with that?
Okay. So budget remaining compared to last year. So 3/31/23 budget comparison, we had 80% left. Total budget remaining this year is 77.32%. You can see the different divisions that we have and the percentage that is less left on those areas. To cover the US bank card, the credit card, to go over some of the expenses that were there. Power for Puget Sound Energy was $3,666.65. Uline ship supplies was for new shelving in our fire storage room for $1436.62. Final Touch Auto Spa, that was for the new van. We got the front of it and the front sides covered with protective film to protect it from damage, rock chips, those types of things. And then Bonneville Communication, we purchased 10 new pagers for the cost of $4,705. So Bonneville was.
Wow.
So are any questions on the warrants?
Questions? Okay. What's the next, unfinished business or new business? You have new business.
Yep, so new business. As you can see, we have some holes being created in the parking lot outside, and that's near the street. So the entrances that we have some potholes being created. We also have some sagging and some sinking of the tarmac next to the apron that we have in front of the 2 engines. So at the end of that, the asphalt is starting to sink. And I've gotten estimates on that. And the estimate to repair both driveways and the area around our apron is 11,000 and change. So we do not need to go out to bid for that. And I would just need to discuss that and get approval. It's going to be a few years, most likely, before we're able to replace the entire parking lot. Just how things are lining up with importance. And to repair that, it's not going to last that long. It's just going to get worse. And I think we need to spend those funds to repair those areas that need it currently, so we can get to the next 2 to 3 years in order to be able to redo the entire parking lot. But at this point, they're just getting worse and worse. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, John's can take you outside and take you to those areas and show you. So what I'm asking for, I just need your approval if you want me to move ahead with that repair on our parking lot areas, or if you would like to wait.
What's your feeling about that?
So you get it done.
Yeah. Well,
While you can.
you know, the parking lot is really almost getting dangerous because of the holes.
It is.
And I think that is a big reason to want to get it done as soon as possible, and then go for the whole thing later. That
Yeah,
sounds.
I mean, the complete replacement's going to be probably 300,000 to 500,000. I think I got a bid on that a couple years ago, and that was over 300,000. And that was just off a satellite view. That wasn't them coming out here and measuring, understanding where the electrical and the water is underneath the parking lot. those types of things that they're going to have to overcome when they're out here. And so I think by the time we get there, new ambulances, something we desperately are going to need. Again, I have grants out for a new ambulance. I have grants out for a new radio. But if I don't get those grants this year, it'll be our second year trying. And we'll have to probably move ahead with purchasing one of those this year at least. And that discussion will have to happen, whether that's going to be an ambulance, a refurbishment of the ambulance that we currently have, or the radios. A grace would be that we would get both the grants, and that would save us around $500,000 plus if we got both those grants, because an ambulance is 250,000 plus. I think the grant we put in is 290,000, and then the radios were very similar to that, although we can't get as many radios as we would have gotten last year if we would have gotten the grant. So we're looking at 500 grand at least between the two grants. And again, if we got both of those, it would be amazing. And then we could turn back and we could start doing some other stuff within the district. But right now, those are two pressing items that's we're going to need to fund in the short term. So even though we got a new levy and everything else, and that was thanks again to the public, it's going to take us a few years to build up some funds in order to move ahead with some of the capital facility needs. So that's the first new item. And would you like me to move ahead with that or postpone it?
Oh, I think you should move ahead with it. That would be my feeling. Are you okay with that?
Definitely.
Yeah. I do have a question, and does the building that you are planning to use for the fire engine storage,
Mhm.
is that going to, it would be better to wait for that until you put down the new asphalt, or that's too far ahead?
No, so that building's going to require a cement floor. And so
Okay,
we would pull up the asphalt that's currently there and they would lay down concrete.
okay.
So it doesn't matter one way or the other at this point. We've gotten some bids back. We're looking at Olympia Buildings for that steel building. And again, that would be for our ability to move apparatus over into that building if we get a new ambulance, because right now a new ambulance from our measurements would not fit inside our current stacking in the ambulance bay where we have them backed up, nose to back. Where the newer rigs, we could potentially get one that's the same size as 858, but again, I don't think that would work either. John, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, for our measurements, even if we got the same size as our red one, which are the new ambulances, and they go bigger than that, it still wouldn't fit in that current configuration that we have. So the idea would be to move both the big engines, engine 5802 and 5803, over to the new storage building, and then move engine 58 and the smaller engine and our main ambulance over to those bays. So they would be right next to the staircase. And our response times would be improved by that as well, because the firefighters wouldn't have to walk through the rest of the fire station to get to those apparatus on calls. Then our second ambulance would maintain in position where it's currently is at in the ambulance bay. So that's what we're looking at there. And that building, again, that's not finalized or anything like that. We have a lot of work with the county to figure out offsets. We're doing pretty good with that, but it still has a little bit to go. So I'll keep you up to date on that though. And July changes our procurement laws in Washington State, and the levels of procurement without having to go out to bid increase greatly in July. So it's big increases, and we may be able to fit underneath the umbrella of the new procurement for that building, depending on how much it's going to be. I think the new procurement is going up to 350,000 or something like that. Which it's not even near that at that point for such of a project. So July would be that. Any questions on that?
No, good, thank you.
So another new business is putting mini splits into the upstairs area for the firefighters and also the clinic. So mini split being HVAC, so for heating and air conditioning. And I wanted to try to get that done last year, but timing wasn't there and wasn't able to do that. Right now, using the MRSC roster, so for a project of this size, I don't have to go out for legal bid because of it's under 50,000, but I need to pick or contact at least 3 distributors, businesses that would do such services from the state website. And if none of them will come to Point Roberts, then at that point I can choose who I want to. It doesn't look like Angar Heating gave me the initial estimate on that. And it was around 30 some thousand, I think closer than 39. But that didn't include the electrical or anything else. So I'm hoping that we can do it underneath the 50,000, ceiling. But if I have to go out for general bid, then I will on that. So that would bring in more efficient heating and air conditioning into the clinic, and it would provide heating and air conditioning upstairs for the firefighters. Right now, we are reliant on wall heat, and it's very inefficient. And we really have no cooling upstairs for the firefighters during the summer and the hottest months up there. I also know that there's some people that suffer to a degree when they come into the clinic because the clinic can get very, very hot during the summer. And
Yes, it does.
I think as the landlord for the clinic, I think it would be a good idea to, for patient comfort in our community and those people using that part of the building, it'd be a nice addition to put in some mini splits over there too. So I guess, I'd like to have discussion on that. If I'm able to keep it underneath the 50,000, are you okay with me moving ahead with that project, or would you like more information? Right now, if I don't get, there's nobody in Whatcom County that's on the MRSC roster. So I'll be reaching down into Skagit and into the Seattle area to see if they're willing to come up. Barron Heating doesn't come up here anymore. Angar Heating does, but they're not on the MRSC roster.
Yeah,
So I can do some more checking. I can look into that. I would if we do it. I obviously would like to get it done between now and July, when the hottest months would be in July and August, to help the community, the clinic, and also my firefighters that are upstairs in that area. So
do you have questions?
No, I'm not. I'm just not sure. When you say mini split, was that the type of air conditioning,
Yeah.
heating units
Yeah.
we're talking about?
it's the ductless system. It's the ductless
Oh,
system,
yeah.
little ones that go
So
on the
it has
wall.
one big one on top and it has the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got the heads inside and the compressor outside.
Yeah, they're pretty efficient, so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Well, I can attest to how hot it gets in the clinic. So that would be welcome.
Yeah, I just think that's I think if we don't do anything upstairs, I think we need to do something for the clinic for sure. Because it does get
I
very
think-
hot in there.
They need it upstairs too. So you need our approval of at least 50,000.
Yeah, if I
Is
can
it-
keep it underneath 50,000, then if I can move ahead with that, that's the project that I can do with MRSC. So if I can't find anybody that'll do it under 50,000, then I'll have to go out for a formalized bid.
Okay,
Or wait
Well,
until July when that ceiling level doubles.
of course,
Well, it's
But
better to
July's-
start on,
But July is going to be too late.
yeah.
yeah, but it's better to start on now, because if the closer to the summer, it's gonna be more difficult to get people.
I
to
could,
just
yeah, I think
complete
you have
the
a good
project.
point there. You have a good point, and yeah, I agree with that because the HVAC systems are going to start being, you know, maintained and broken and everything else as the summer gets going. So my hopes is that whoever would take the project would be able to get it done within a month. And
Yeah.
I'm behind on it right now. I was hoping that I could potentially get an advertisement in this coming up week, but I don't know if I'll have time to do that. Or at least reach out to the businesses that are on MRSC and see if anybody is interested. If not, you know, Angar is interested, obviously. And I think there is a local individual that might be interested as well.
Okay.
Good, good.
Let's start.
Well,
Yeah, I
well-
think it's good.
so the level at this point would be the 50,000.
That's correct.
And we want you to go ahead as fast as you can.
Okay, so I'm out of town right now, obviously, but when I get back in, I'll start working on the MRSC roster, document who I'm contacting, which I have to legally do, and go from there and see if I have any interest.
Right.
Good, sounds great. What else?
You probably saw the new van sitting outside. The new van is here. We still have a few graphics to put on it after the protective coating that was put on it to protect the front and the sides has time to settle. There's a couple things that still need to be put on it, but otherwise, we're doing well. I have 2 interested drivers. There's a doctor that'll be moving up here from Oregon, who's I think she's a dentist. If I'm not, she's a DD. So it's a DD. So she's a retiring dentist that has interest in helping out with that program. And then our famous Bill Zidell, who is on the meeting with us today. He's interested in
You really trust him, huh?
becoming a driver. He'll have to go through some heavy training for the driving purpose portion, but he's also interested in that. And I'm going to have a meeting with both of them on Sunday, a Zoom meeting just to say hi to everybody, kind of lay out the expectations, get their feelings and ideas as well on this program, and then hopefully be able to start it functioning in May.
Good. Okay, Bill, you can speak.
It's right up my alley. I'm a driver. Come on. But the chief has got to undo some of these bad habits from Jersey. Like, what are you doing in my lane and stuff like that? And I don't want to upset the patients in the car. So I got to be very careful. So I'll listen to the chief. Okay.
Well, this used to be a right thing. Okay, thank you, Bill. Do you want to say anything else? Okay.
No, everything's good. Everything is good. I just had one question for the chief. When he talks about the parking lot, I'm assuming that the cost is all in, which includes removal and disposal of the previous asphalt.
That's
So-
correct. And the estimate was 11,000, was right around 12,000, 11,000 and change.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Good.
for those areas that need repair now that we really can't wait on.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Anything else, Chief?
I don't think there's anything else. I think that covers everything that I need to today. John, is there anything on your mind?
Nope, nothing to speak of.
So
Okay,
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back on, full rotation. Obviously it cost the district some funds when I was gone to have, medical coverage for the community, but my people did a great job. They all worked extremely hard in my absence, and they protected the community, and I'm very proud of how everybody stepped up. So I want to thank all of my membership and the community for all their prayers and thoughts within my absence. But I'm back now, and look forward to moving onwards. And just thanks everybody, including all of you. Linda, thank you, and everybody else.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to adjourn if we're at the end of this conversation. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.